What time is it? It's BioTime! So for today's video, we will be talking about the immune system. So guys, have you seen the anime Cells at Work? Well, if not, you better watch it now, because we will use it as a reference to this video. So the characters in Cells at Work depict the cells in the human body. The series highlighted the works of the leukocytes, which are the cells of the immune system that are involved in protecting the body against infectious diseases and foreign invaders. In episodes 1, 3, and 10 of the series, the types of immune defenses are presented, namely the innate and adaptive immunity. Innate immunity refers to the non-specific defense mechanisms that come into play immediately of an antigen's appearance in the body, while adaptive immunity refers to the antigen-specific immune response. Later, we will be tracing the development of the adaptive immunity. In the first episode, we are introduced to a white blood cell, namely a neutrophil, having innate immunity who senses signals that an infection is present, and then it begins to kill the invading microbes. They are the first cells to migrate on the site of the infection. In the third episode, we are introduced to leukocytes having adaptive immunity, generally the T cells and B cells. So these cells also have their differences. T cells are cell-mediated, which doesn't involve antibodies and defend against infected cells directly, while B cells, on the other hand, are humoral cells, which secretes antibodies and defend against extracellular pathogens and can recognize the surface antigens of bacteria and viruses. There are also different types of T cells presented in the third episode. The first is naive T cells. They respond to pathogens that the immune system has not yet encountered. Second is the effector T cells. They are relatively short-lived activated cells that defend the body in an immune response. Third is the helper T cells. They coordinate and enhance activity of all B cells and cytotoxic T cells. Fourth is the killer T cells, which kill cancer cells, infected cells, or damaged cells. And lastly, the memory T cells, which linger after an immune response is complete and launches a new immune response if the same pathogen is encountered again. We also come across an accessory cell named the dendritic cell. It processes antigen materials and presents on the cell surface to the T cells of the immune system. Also, to mention, in the third episode, it took a while for the immune system to defeat the virus called influenza, because it proliferated, multiplying and infecting more normal cells to bolster its ranks. It also took a while for the effector T cells to proliferate, who battles the influenza afterwards. In the 10th episode of the series, the functions of the monocyte and macrophage are clearly depicted. Monocyte fights off bacteria, viruses, and fungi, and it also facilitates healing and repair, while macrophage detects, engulfs, and destroys pathogens and apoptotic cells. So in the first step of the adaptive immune response, the antigen for the pathogen is taken up by the antigen-presenting cell, or the APC, such as the dendritic cell or the macrophage, through phagocytosis. In the second step, the APC travels to a part of a body that contains immature T and B cells, such as a lymph node. In the third step, the antigen is processed by the APC and bound to MHC class II receptors and MHC class I receptors on the cell membrane of the APC. In the fourth step, the antigen is presented to immature helper T cells and cytotoxic T cells through binding the MHC2 or MHC1, or simply the helper T or the cytotoxic T cells, to the T cell receptors. In the fifth step, the T lymphocytes mature and proliferate. Helper T cells, on the other hand, activate B cells, which proliferate and produce antibodies specific to the antigen, while cytotoxic T cells destroy pathogens that bear the antigen that was presented to them by the ABCs. And lastly, the sixth step, memory B and T cells are formed after the infection ends. So that's all for today, guys, and remember, drink vitamin C to help your immune system fight up against the diseases like bacteria and viruses, especially now that we're in the crisis due to the coronavirus 19. So stay safe, guys. Thank you for watching.